So y'all got the opportunity to see me experience the Whiskey Rose by Savoir Faire firsthand, and they were gracious enough to bless me with a complimentary bottle of their other newest release, Sin, Santo, and Sage. Let's roll my motherfucking music so we can give this a first impression and see if it matches up.
We're all alone. In case you cared, out of all your friends, I want to be Cuba.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Sin, Santo, and Sage. I haven't read the notes. I don't know what to expect from the fragrance. I have not smelled the fragrance, so I'm gonna give it my true first impressions. Regardless, Chris was gracious enough to bless me with this shit. All my opinions are my own. I'm not obligated. I never feel obligated. I do whatever I want when I want. I don't know why I feel like I have to make that disclaimer, but trolls are always welcome to comment. So let's smell this shit and give it firsthand, true first impressions and see what we get from it. Sin, Santo, Sage. One spray is enough for me right now, and let's see what we're doing. Okay. This is a difficult fragrance to give a first impression to. I'm gonna tell you that right off rip. The reason why, it's evolving immediately. Like there's immediate changes right off of my skin happening that I don't have time to register in my head what's going on. I'm gonna tell you honestly, this is very different. This is not the Mass Appeal, this isn't a Creed, this isn't a Dior, this isn't a Hermes, this is none of that. So if you're looking for a Mass Appeal panty dropper beat, this is not it. Right now, for some reason, what's coming to my head is not so much the fragrance notes, is Chris Classic's frame of mind when he was making this fragrance. The space that he was in his head when he was making this fragrance. I rarely go into the perfumer's head. It has to be the perfume that speaks to me and tells me what to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? If that shit makes any sense. I rarely give a fuck what the perfumer was thinking about, or if they were just following the blueprint or the idea page that they were given to create this fragrance. This is, in my head, this is vestido en blanco. This is some Santeria type shit in my head. Real talk. There's a spiritualism about this fragrance that is really like clicking in my head. Now, I'm not saying this is some voodoo shit or nothing like that. I'm speaking my truth and speaking my mind and giving you my interpretations of this fragrance. There's a lot of earthiness, but there's a lot of spirit in this. There's an energy here that's coming through perfumery in a very, in a spiritual way, in a very organic way, in a mystical way. So it's not so much about the fragrance notes here, it's more about feeling, emotion, the spiritualism. There's a lot of that here. You get the sage, you get an earthiness. There's some dirt factors in here that are very dense, but it feels very Mother Earth. It feels spiritual in mind, connecting with ground, connecting with earth, connecting with spirit. I know this shit is getting deep and very weird from my channel, but that's what I'm getting, and I can only relay to you what I'm getting. The sage here is very nice and very green, very naturally picked, very organic. The Palo Santo here is, oof. So the notes are Palo Santo, clary sage, oud, ambroxan, bergamot, Japanese cedar, tobacco, grapefruit, musk, cardamom, cashmere, and heliotrope. The Palo Santo is definitely the star. But the oud here is very present. That's that stinky dirtiness that I'm talking about. The grapefruit and tobacco are doing this little weird marriage in the mid. And the heliotrope is there. And I'm not a big fan of heliotrope, but it's not even a prominent note. It's kind of just there. There's sprinkles of heliotrope there that give it this white powdery cocaine-ish kind of in my head. So I've heard. It's got ambroxan listed. I don't get much of the ambroxan nuance personally. This is not a fragrance for the faint of heart. This is not a fragrance that is clubby. This is definitely a chill vibe fragrance. This is a spiritual fragrance. For me, in my head, what I'm getting from this is a spiritual fragrance. You wear this for you, This isn't for anyone else. This isn't to attract anyone else. This isn't to call anyone else's attention. You gotta be in a particular type of mind state and connected, you know, third eye type shit to really appreciate this type of fragrance. It's got me thinking in ways that I really enjoy, because very few fragrances get me into this brain, that spark of thought process in the brain receptor that I rarely use, you know, the 90% of it that I don't use. It's making me do that, and I really enjoy this fragrance. I don't want to give this fragrance a ball spray. This is different. This is connecting different dots in my head. This is something that if they do have samples, I don't know, you may want to try out. But if you're looking for a mass appeal sex beast, this is not one of them. But it's extremely thought out fragrance, deep, soulful fragrance that left an impression, to say the least. Y'all have never heard me talk like that. You know I don't script shit because I'm like ADHD. I can't read off of fucking paper. It just sounds ridiculous. Chris, fuck. This is something. Your brain was definitely doing other shit, firing on different receptors. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart. If that at all made any kind of sense, you know, I freestyle this whole shit. This shit is different as fuck. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know what it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubaknow, what's fresh, who's best? One of them's gonna pass the test. Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start attack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would